We're diving deep into some seriously futuristic tech today, like the kind of stuff that makes you wonder if you've stepped into a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
But this is real deal stuff, folks, and we're here to explore MindMerge.
It's not just about making life a little easier or a little faster. This is about actually boosting human intelligence.
Yeah, amplifying it.
Exactly.
I've been digging into this really interesting article from AI Toolbox, and it paints a picture of how MindMerge could totally change the way we think, learn, and work. Sounds a little too good to be true, though, right?
Well, I mean, the potential is definitely there. What's fascinating is that MindMerge isn't just another algorithm. It's designed to actually become a partner to your brain.
Okay, so how does this thing even work?
So imagine a system that could understand your thoughts, your needs, just by interfacing directly with your brain activity. That's what MindMerge is all about.
Hold on, reading my thoughts. I'm getting some serious sci-fi vibes here.
I get it. It sounds a little out there,
Mhm.
but it is based on real science. It's basically a three-step process.
Okay, lay it on me.
First, you have this non-invasive neural interface, a device that captures your brain's electrical activity.
Like brain waves and stuff.
Exactly. Then, that data is analyzed by really sophisticated AI algorithms that learn to recognize patterns and interpret your cognitive state.
So it's like MindMerge is creating a model of my brain, figuring out how I think.
Precisely. And that's where things get really exciting. Based on that analysis, MindMerge can actually provide real-time feedback and assistance tailored to your specific needs.
Tailored to me.
To you.
Okay, I'm intrigued, but how does that feedback even reach me?
Well, it could be through the device itself or potentially even a brain-computer interface.
The BCI.
Exactly.
So just to clarify, a BCI is basically a way for your brain to directly control a computer or a device, right? I've heard about those being used to help people with paralysis.
That's a great example. BCIs are already showing a lot of promise in assistive technology, and MindMerge could use this to create an even more seamless and intuitive way for cognitive enhancement.
Wow, my mind is officially blown. We're talking about AI that not only knows how you think, but can also guide you, help you think more clearly, learn faster, be more creative. I mean, the possibilities.
The possibilities are huge. Just think about education, for example. Imagine a student struggling with, let's say, physics. MindMerge could analyze their brain activity, identify exactly where they're having trouble, and then either give tailored explanations or adjust the material in real time.
That's incredible. It's like having a personal tutor who knows exactly how you learn best.
It's not just about making learning easier either. It's about helping every student reach their full potential no matter what their background is or what learning challenges they face.
So MindMerge could level the playing field in education, give everyone a real shot at succeeding.
Exactly. It's about empowering individuals.
This all sounds pretty amazing, but I have to ask, who else could benefit from this technology? I mean, beyond education.
Well, the possibilities are really vast. Think about professionals in fields like engineering, architecture, creative writing.
Okay, let's dive into that for a second. How could MindMerge impact those fields?
Well, imagine an architect designing this really complex building. With MindMerge, they could actually visualize and manipulate the 3D models in their mind, exploring all these different design options, but with incredible speed and flexibility.
So they're moving walls with their thoughts.
Pretty much. Or think about an engineer trying to solve a really tough technical problem. MindMerge could help them sort through mountains of data, find patterns, see potential solutions in ways they couldn't before.
Like giving them a superpower, a cognitive boost.
Exactly. And for writers, it could be the end of writer's block. Imagine AI suggesting new storylines or helping them structure their thoughts.
You've convinced me. This tech could revolutionize the way we work in so many fields. But before we get too carried away, we can't ignore the ethical concerns. We're talking about tech that's directly interacting with our brains, which is, pretty personal.
You're absolutely right, and the AI Toolbox article highlights some really important points, especially about data privacy. If MindMerge is collecting data from our brain activity, who gets to see that? How do we prevent it from being misused?
That's a big one. We need to make sure this technology is developed with serious safeguards for our privacy.
Absolutely. And it's not just about protecting against hackers or anything like that. There's also the risk of unintended consequences.
Like what?
Well, for example, could relying too much on MindMerge actually weaken our natural cognitive abilities?
Oh, that's a good point. Sort of like how too much screen time can affect attention spans. We need to make sure MindMerge works with our brains, not against them.
It's about finding the right balance, right? Human ingenuity paired with technological enhancement.
It seems like we're at this really critical moment. The potential benefits of MindMerge are enormous, but so are the risks.
And that's exactly why it's so important to have these conversations now, while it's still early in development. We need to be open and honest about the ethical implications and make sure we're building this tech with a deep understanding of how it could impact society.
I think we've laid a good foundation for understanding what MindMerge is all about. But I'm really curious about the technology behind it. Like, what kind of neural interfaces are we talking about here?
Well, there are several really promising approaches, each with its own kind of strengths and weaknesses. For example, there's electroencephalography or EEG.
EG?
EG, yeah. It's a non-invasive technique that uses electrodes on the scalp to measure brain activity.
Okay, so that's like reading brainwaves from the surface.
Yeah, it's already used in a lot of things, like sleep studies and diagnosing epilepsy.
Makes sense. So EEG is pretty portable and affordable then.
Yeah, which makes it a pretty good candidate for a MindMerge interface that could be widely used.
Okay, so with EEG, we're reading brainwaves from the surface of the scalp, but is there a way to get a more detailed picture?
Oh, absolutely. That's where functional magnetic resonance imaging, or fMRI, comes in.
fMRI, right.
fMRI measures brain activity by detecting these tiny changes in blood flow.
So more blood flow means more activity in that area.
Exactly. And it gives us a much higher resolution image than EEG, so we can pinpoint activity in very specific brain regions.
That's amazing. But I'm guessing fMRI is way more expensive than EEG.
You're right, and it requires this big, bulky equipment, so not exactly something you'd use every day, but it's a crucial tool for the research and development of MindMerge. It helps scientists really understand what's going on in the brain during different cognitive processes.
So EEG for widespread use, fMRI for in-depth research. Are there any other technologies that could be used for MindMerge?
Definitely. Another one that's showing a lot of promise is near-infrared spectroscopy, or NIRS.
NIRS. Okay, what's that one all about?
NIRS uses light, actually, to measure changes in blood oxygenation in the brain.
Interesting.
So it's non-invasive and relatively portable.
So another good candidate for widespread use?
Yeah, it could be.
This is all fascinating. It seems like we're on the verge of having a really sophisticated neural interface for MindMerge. But decoding brain activity is just the first step, right? We still need to develop the AI that can make sense of that data.
That's right. Developing those algorithms is a huge task. It requires experts in machine learning, neuroscience, cognitive psychology, all working together.
Wow, quite a team. And what are they trying to achieve with these algorithms?
The goal is to create AI that can not only understand your current cognitive state, but also predict what you're going to need and offer personalized assistance.
So it's like having a personal AI brain trainer.
That's a great way to put it. The AI behind MindMerge has to be incredibly sophisticated. It needs to process tons of data, recognize complex patterns, and make these really nuanced judgments about the user's cognitive needs.
And let's not forget about those ethical considerations we talked about earlier. We have to make sure these AI algorithms are developed responsibly, right?
Yes, absolutely. Protecting privacy and preventing misuse, it's paramount.
Right. So we've got the neural interface, we've got the AI algorithms. What about the feedback? How does MindMerge actually communicate with the user? You mentioned BCIs before.
Right. So BCIs offer this direct line of communication with the brain. It bypasses the usual senses like sight and sound. So in the context of MindMerge, a BCI could provide feedback through things like subtle sensory stimulation.
Sensory stimulation, like what?
Think like a gentle vibration or a change in temperature.
So instead of getting a notification on my phone or hearing a beep, I might feel a tingle that tells me something from MindMerge.
Exactly. It's about creating a more intuitive and less distracting way to get feedback.
That's incredible. So it seems like the technology for MindMerge is advancing on all fronts. But I'm curious about the practical implications. We've talked about education and professional fields, but how could this impact healthcare?
Oh, MindMerge has huge potential in healthcare, especially for cognitive disorders and mental well-being.
In what way?
Well, for example, it could be used to create personalized therapies for conditions like ADHD, anxiety, depression.
So instead of just prescribing medication or generic therapy, MindMerge could provide very specific interventions.
Exactly. Imagine a therapist being able to see a patient's brain activity during their session and then give feedback or adjust the treatment based on their response.
That would be revolutionary. Personalized, data-driven mental health care.
It really could be. And it's not just about treating existing conditions. MindMerge could also help prevent cognitive decline as we age. Keep our minds sharp.
Wow, that would be a game changer. I'm starting to see how MindMerge could touch every aspect of our lives.
And it makes you think, right, How do we even define intelligence if we can boost it with technology? What does it mean to be human?
Those are some deep philosophical questions.
Definitely. Ones we'll need to think about as MindMerge evolves.
We've covered a lot of ground today, but there's one thing we haven't touched on yet: access. If MindMerge has the potential to change education, work, even how we define intelligence, how do we make sure everyone benefits?
That's a really important point. We can't let this technology create a divide where only the wealthy or privileged have access.
So how do we ensure equitable access?
Well, it's going to take a multifaceted approach, but it starts with making MindMerge affordable.
Okay, affordability is key,
Mhm.
but we also need to think about the algorithms themselves. Make sure they're not biased, make sure the technology is culturally sensitive, inclusive.
You're absolutely right. We've seen how algorithms can perpetuate existing inequalities. If the AI behind MindMerge is trained on data from a certain demographic, it might not work as well for people from different backgrounds.
Yeah, it's a crucial point. Diversity and inclusion have to be at the forefront of development.
Absolutely. And it's not just about the technology itself. It's about making sure everyone has access to education and training so they have the skills they need to thrive in this new world.
It's a complicated issue, no doubt, but it's a conversation we need to have now, before it's too late.
I completely agree. We have a responsibility to make sure MindMerge benefits all of humanity.
This has been such a thought-provoking conversation. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on the long-term implications. Where do you see MindMerge heading in the next decade or two?
Well, it's hard to predict the future, but I do believe MindMerge could fundamentally change the way we live, learn, and work.
Can you elaborate on that? What specific changes do you envision?
I think we'll see MindMerge integrated into our daily lives, starting with education and healthcare, but then expanding to professional fields. It might even become a tool for personal growth.
So you think it will be woven into the fabric of society?
Yes, I do. And as it evolves, we're likely to see new applications we can't even imagine right now. Just like the internet transformed communication, MindMerge could revolutionize how we think, learn, and interact with the world.
It's exciting, but a little bit scary too, right?
It is. MindMerge offers incredible opportunities, but there are definite challenges ahead.
We need to be prepared.
Absolutely. We need to approach it responsibly and with foresight. We need open and honest dialogue about the ethics. We need to make sure it's developed with diversity and inclusion in mind. And we need to work together to make sure MindMerge empowers all of us.
Well said. It's clear that MindMerge has the potential to be incredibly transformative, but it's up to us to shape its development and use it for good. We need to stay engaged, ask the tough questions, and demand responsible innovation. As we wrap up our exploration of MindMerge, I want to leave our listeners with one last thought, one question to ponder. If MindMerge becomes as impactful as we've discussed, how will it change our understanding of what it means to be human?
That's a question that will likely keep philosophers and scientists busy for a long time. And I think the answer will depend on the choices we make today.
It's a lot to think about. It's been a fascinating conversation. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the future of human cognition.
Yeah.
It really does make you stop and think about what the future holds.
It's a wild ride, that's for sure.
We've only just scratched the surface of MindMerge, but even that glimpse is enough to show its incredible potential.
And I think that's what's so captivating about it, this idea of pushing the boundaries of human intelligence.
We've talked about its potential to revolutionize education, transform professional fields, and even reshape healthcare. But we've also highlighted the challenges that come with it.
Right, like those big ethical questions surrounding data privacy, ensuring equitable access, and the risk of becoming overly reliant on this technology.
It's not just a tech issue, it's a societal one, right? We need a collective conversation about the future we want to create with MindMerge.
Absolutely, and it's a conversation that needs to include everyone. Ethicists, policymakers, educators, the general public.
We need to think about the impact on our own sense of self, too, right? If we're relying on AI to enhance our cognitive abilities, does that change how we define intelligence, creativity, consciousness?
Those are really deep questions, and honestly, I don't think anyone has all the answers yet, but they're definitely questions we need to wrestle with as this technology becomes more integrated into our lives.
And what about the job market? I mean, if MindMerge boosts productivity and innovation to the extent we've discussed, what happens to those whose jobs become automated?
It's a valid concern. We've already seen how automation can disrupt industries, and MindMerge has the potential to take that disruption even further.
So what can we do to prepare?
Well, we need to start thinking about how to train people for the jobs of the future, emphasizing skills that complement AI, like critical thinking, creativity, emotional intelligence, things that machines aren't so good at.
MindMerge seems to be pushing us to rethink our assumptions about work, education, even what it means to be human.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Throughout history, technological leaps have challenged our paradigms and forced us to adapt, to evolve.
I guess the question is, can we evolve fast enough?
That's the million-dollar question, but I think mind merge could usher in a new era of human potential if we approach it thoughtfully and ethically.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into MindMerge, what's the key takeaway for our listeners?
I hope they walk away with a sense of cautious optimism. Mind merge is an incredibly powerful tool, but it's up to us to make sure it's used for good. We need to stay informed, engaged, and demand responsible development.
It's a call to action, for sure. And as we conclude this episode, I'm left with a sense of both excitement and apprehension. But one thing is certain, MindMerge is going to have a significant impact on our world, and it's up to all of us to make that impact positive.
Absolutely. We have a responsibility to shape the future of mind merge in a way that benefits everyone.
It's been an incredible journey exploring the future of human cognition. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive